Hey, thank you so much for tuning into Secret Sauce, How to Become an In-Demand Speaker in the Events Industry. I am Trish Simitakos, and I am an event planner based in Washington, D.C., and I'm also the 2019 National Education Chair for the National Association of Catering and Events. And it is my passion to educate event professionals, particularly in topics that I think that we don't get a whole lot of education on, considering this one. So in my live presentation, you get a lot of content and information. You get examples, you get anecdotes, we have a Q&A, and there's a lot of audience interaction. The following presentation is the 5-minute breakdown. So this is the fast and quirky version. This is going to be the nuts and bolts of the information. This is going to give you sort of the highlight and the recap. So the very first thing you need to know, which is actually pretty much the only thing you need to know, when you want to become an in-demand speaker, you have to know your goal, right? You have to know why you have decided to get up in the morning and come in front of a room of people and stand there and present some content, because that's going to give you the focus you need to be clear on the next steps, clear on how to get there, clear on how to create this recipe for your presentation that's going to knock it out of the park. The first thing you're going to need to do is the prep work, right? You need to create the plan. You wouldn't walk into the grocery store and expect to just throw a bunch of random stuff in a cart and go home and cook up an amazing meal. Well, this is the very same thing. You need to start from the beginning. Create the plan. Make sure that you're filling out your submissions completely, that your submissions are clear, that your presentation proposals are understandable and relatable. That's on you. It's not for the person reviewing your presentation to interpret what you mean in the presentation notes. It's for you to make that perfectly clear when you submit that piece of paper. And I can't believe I'm going over that, but pretty much need to. So make sure as you're going through that and you're writing that up that you're identifying your goals. Be clear on your deliverables. Make sure that it is very obvious as to why someone should attend your particular presentation and what they're going to get out of this. Remember, it's about them, it's not about you. And qualify the why. Why should someone take the time out of their schedule, go into a room and hear you speak for however long that's going to take? Why should they click on your YouTube channel? Why should they read your blog post? Qualify the why, and again, this is all about being clear, understandable, and relatable. And as you're doing that, I just want you to keep a couple of things in mind, right? You don't want to be too humble about the way you qualify yourself. This is not the time to hide accomplishments that directly relate to your particular speaking topic. If you're presenting on how to become a fantastic salesperson, this is the time to talk about how you have broken every sales goal for the last 10 years. This is the time to talk about your corporate training seminars that you've conducted. This is not the time to hide any of that. So don't be too humble about those particular accomplishments, but be aware of hubris, and that's too much of a good thing. If you're doing something on creative design, I don't know that anyone needs to know that you have a degree in accounting, unless we're going to be talking about the financials of creative design. Make sure that, as you're going through, your bowling trophies really aren't going to help you in convincing anyone that they should come to hear you speak about time management. Make sure it's all relevant, whatever your qualifications are. And hyperbole, this is my all-time favorite. We remember high school when we were voted most likely to succeed and voted the best looking hair. Okay, well, it's not high school anymore, right? So, so unless there's been some sort of a judging process or a qualification process where you were voted best this or most that or most sought after so-and-so, I would leave that off altogether, because it's a little bit of a turn off in terms of starting that conversation with someone. But again, if it's not qualified in hard terms. If you're sought after, I want to hear about what TV programs you've been on, or why people are seeking you. Who is seeking you? Who are these people? So again, beware of the hyperbole. We are event professionals, and you do want to create a qualification that speaks to other event professionals, if that's your goal. And as you're going, after you've created, this sort of game plan, make sure that you're doing the legwork, skills development. Learn to ask the people around you what it is that they want to hear about. I think a lot of people consider this process to be very insular. It isn't. You have to go out and talk to people about what their concerns are, what their joys of the industry are. What is it about what they do, about what you do, that they want to learn more of? And learn to ask yourself that same question, right? What do you care about? What drives you crazy? What are you passionate about? And why do you want to get in front of that room full of people? And make sure that you're identifying your target audience. This particular item is something that I think people get tripped up on. They think it's a very complicated thing, but guess what? If you can name right now 5 people you would email questions to, you've just identified your target audience. So really not that hard of a task. And practice, 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 right? Develop your style. Are you a comedian? Do you like to present dry content? Do you like a lot of slides? Do you like a lot of interaction with the crowd? Make sure you're developing your style. That's going to hone your message. So again, it's all going back to that focus equals clarity concept. And finally, you're going to, once you've created the groundwork, you've gotten all of your stuff together, you need to find your tribe, right? You've qualified your presentation, you've identified where your target audience is, so go out and interact with them, because things change all the time. There are particular topics that become hot button issues with particular groups, and it's important to maintain a connection with that particular audience as you're speaking and going out there and building your resume. And that, of course, means that you're going to have to go out there and build a resume. Again, it can't exist only in concept. It can't be only on paper that you want to do this presentation, and it can't be. The content has to be out there somewhere. So whether that is a webinar or just videos you're posting on the internet or a blog post or a podcast, make sure that you're presenting your content out there in the world somewhere. Someone needs to interact with it so that you can really create this message that you want to get out there into the world, because otherwise then it's just in your head, and that's not going to really help you. And again, this is all breaking down to building your experience. When you focus in on what you're trying to do, when you connect with the people you're trying to do it for, that is going to lead you to this experience that you're going to be able to present to any association, any major meeting, and say, listen, I connect with the following people. This is what they want to hear about, and this is my presentation on the following topic. And once you start getting known for that signature, once people know that they can come to you as the go-to expert in sales management or customer service or creative design, then people are going to start seeking you out. You won't have to submit your information. People are going to come to you. And that is how you become an in-demand speaker in your particular industry. And I know you thought this was going to be a longer presentation, but again, 5 minutes, you're in, you're out. I hope you found that very helpful, and hopefully I can get to meet you live. Thanks, and have a great afternoon.